let's go ahead and talk about why we are starting late. As it turns out, Ashley needed to change her address at Social Security, and this was the opportune time to do it. And I wanted to make sure and get it done, but the program must go on as well. So I am going to try a new feature of Restream to see if I could actually start transmitting from the car as we get home because I knew it would be under time. And guess what? It is working fine so far. Uh, we are the first thing that I wanted to speak about earlier, though, then before I realized the mic wasn't on, was that can Republicans govern? What's occurring in the House right now, in the House of Congress right now, proves that Republicans are inept at serving. Five people are preventing a five people. There's a caucus of 222, and five people decide to hold the entire Republican caucus hostage. What does that say about the leadership that they're currently encountering in Congress? And if they can't get a speaker elected on the first vote, what does that tell you is going to occur for the deficit for the debt ceiling that will put our entire nation in jeopardy? What does it tell you? These guys are inept at governing, and these guys will be unable to govern. Now, back to the issue of Social Security and having to bring my daughter to change her address at Social Security because we're unable to do it over the phone. We are led to believe that government is inefficient. And my contention has always been, I don't have a problem with the private sector, but I don't have a problem with the public sector either. They both serve their purposes and both need to be very well funded. Well, as it turns out today, the private sector is very well funded. Tax breaks. They get all the benefits. They pay little wages to people. The federal government pays a higher wage for the average American citizen, at least minimum wage or more.
If in that which was virtually implying the Democrats have more money.
Yeah, it turns out that Hakeem got 212 votes. 19 voted against McCarthy, and he only got 203 votes. But the total amount of Republican votes actually makes it clear that Republicans will run the House whenever they get a chance to vote for one person. It may be McCarthy, it may be Scalise, it may be somebody else. But don't think that because we got more votes on the first round that somehow Democrats will hold the House. They won't. So anyway, going back to the public sector versus private sector, and this is important. We are led to believe that somehow the private sector is more efficient. Have you been to let's say a FedEx store when there are a lot of people there? Have you been to a UPS store when there are a lot of people there? Have you been to the mall when there are a lot of people there and lines get long, to your grocery stores and lines get long? Well, we just came from the Social Security office. These are people that are well paid. The staff that helps you, they are well paid. And first experience, this is my first experience at a Social Security office. First experience. And my daughter can attest. When she said that we probably should go in, I said, oh my God, that line is going to be extremely long. It's going to take a while, etc. We go there. There is a line. My line was probably about 30 people or so, but that line was gone within 30 minutes. They had several places for people to go in and talk to their helper, counselor, and we were in and out within the period of about maybe an hour. Okay? I call that superb efficiency. The rapport from the woman who served us was extraordinary. She even helped me with questions that I had for myself, not just for Ashley, but for myself. I've gotten better treatment at that Social Security office than I get at private stores where you guys have, not you guys, but many have a tendency to believe that the private sector is so much better than the public sector. Here's the fact. Both sectors have good people and both sectors have lousy people. And it's up to us to ensure that on either side, on the public sector or the private sector, that we get good people working there. Now, let's get back to Social Security. Absent these programs, like I said, if you looked at the salaries that these people that are working at the Social Security office are getting, it is substantially better than that salesperson who is helping you at a retail store. I want you guys to digest that for a minute. Digest that for a minute. If our private sector decided to pay wages commensurate with people's labor, with people's work, with people's worth, I'd like you guys to think, first of all, the income disparity that is destroying this country, the wealth disparity that is tearing this country apart by taking so much from so many to satisfy the whims of just a few. Think about how much better it would be. And for all my right-wing brothers and sisters in the room right now, I ask you to consider this. Those who are doing the work, those folks that I just went and got assisted by to help us in what we had to get done. Who has more value to you? Who is more important to you? The wealthy stockbroker that has done absolutely nothing for you but move a piece of paper and a few dollars here or there, or that good person in that Social Security office, at that store where you're buying your linen, at that store where you're buying your clothes? Who is worth more to you? It is that simple. We have to get over the indoctrination that we've had for decades. We have to get over that which the Powell Manifesto taught us, that somehow everything in the private sector is more efficient. It is false. In fact, I am going to say something that many folks are going to say, but that's not what I hear on TV. The public sector, a message?
No, Eric says government job is no comparison. The private sector can't compete with the government, as those are the ones that rule and regulate the private sector. Only so many government jobs go around. No competition and no competition.
Actually, Eric, you brought up a valid statement. That, believe it or not, that's a valid statement. That the government makes the rules for the private sector, that is partially true. Or no, that is completely true. You're absolutely right, Eric. But here's the thing, right? The government sector is we, the people. So that is our right to decide how we want the private sector to operate. In other words, here's what I'm saying, Eric. The private sector is an extension of us all and what we want it to be. The public sector is us. We, the people, create the public sector because we are the ones who decide what an economy should look like. We, the people, not they, the few. Remember that. So I am saying what you just said about that is true. Something
it glitched a little bit.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, that may be the cellular on your side. It's not necessarily what I'm sending out, right?
So Paul Fleming says the problem with most people is that they don't understand the process, and maybe has had one person has a misfortune of not having proper documents. Says that bad news does spread faster than good news. I've never had a problem, and it's been 17 years of dealing with the government.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that comment, Paul. Because you know what? In fact, gasoline went up again, $2.83. That was $2.69 a few days ago. Anyway, here, Paul, thank you for that message. You're absolutely correct. And today when we went to the Social Security office, Ashley had all of her necessary information. So things went smoothly. So you're right about that. And sometimes people don't understand that they have to have all your paperwork. And this is not only for the public sector, meaning the government. This also applies to the private sector. So you're so right for bringing that up. And I don't want to take anything away from what Eric has to say, but the misunderstanding I think that Brother Eric has is that he believes in the omnipotent private sector. That person who becomes the president of a company should somehow rule. No, the economy belongs to us all. If he wants to do something on his own and he doesn't want governmental control, go into an area that you don't have to impact people. You can do that. But if you are into areas that impact society as a whole, then it's a must. You see what I'm saying, Eric? It's a different thought process, brother Eric Hayes, Brother Hayes. It's a different thought process, which is what I'm trying to put into the fold. We have been trained by the plutocracy to think a certain way, the wrong way, the way that supports a small amount of people, a small amount, the wealthy few, those who originally the Constitution was written for. Remember, the Constitution was only written for 5% of the people. It's a capital document. If you doubt what I have to say, listen to some of David Cobb's commentary. A good friend of mine, lawyer that ran for the president of the United States for the Green Party. We served together at Move to Amend. Read some of the documents that he's written with respect to the Constitution. So we, over the years, we have used the court system, the judiciary that is, to improve on our rights based on the wording of the Constitution that we've never lived up to. Not that the wording is all that perfect. After all, after the first 10 amendments, we needed 17 more, right? We're up to Amendment 27. A perfect document doesn't have to be amended 27 times, right? Which is what we've done. Well, the first 10 is a Bill of Rights, but subsequent to the Bill of Rights, we had 17 amendments. So therefore, any other commentary that I need to Okay, that's fine. That's fine, Boo. Folks, Ashley is reading me the comments whenever there's something that I need to address, because I can't drive and read and all of that. But like I said,
Daniel Lados, Nicorso used to be endorsed in nationalization of social media companies. The grant says the economy belongs to the masses. Any credit that to Egberto and Mao.
Mao, he means Mao Zedong, the Chinese premier.
It says Eric Hayes has no more reserves. Tell Joe needs more cash. A lot of tell Joe needs to buy now, but Russia will use gold as a proxy to change the market. They have over 140 billion to play with.
But we have more gold than Russia. And the truth of the matter is, I have never believed in this stuff called a gold standard, right? Because I have to ask you guys an important question. You can't do a damn thing with gold, all right? And I think when Nixon took us off of the gold standard, that was the best thing ever done. And the reason why is gold means nothing. All those people that are trying to say, go ahead and get gold for when the dollar means nothing. If the dollar ever reaches to a point that it means nothing, guess what else will mean nothing? Gold. All right? You can't eat gold. And when we get into a point when this system falls apart, a cucumber will be worth more than gold. A loaf of bread will be worth more than gold. Things that you need, clothes, food, the only thing you need money for is to exchange where you don't have a perfect bartering system to exchange, right? But if we are in dire straits, the things that become valuable immediately are people who have things that other people need to have to survive. Cucumbers, lettuce, tomatoes, meat, all that stuff becomes valuable. You can't eat gold. The gold standard was always a fad. I know you guys don't like to hear that because we've been indoctrinated for decades to somehow think there was something special about gold, something special about diamonds. Doesn't mean a damn thing, folks. We're indoctrinated, some of us, to believe that gold means something. Gold is just another metal, no different than tungsten, no different than platinum. The scarcity of things like platinum gives them a high dollar price, but absent a dollar, their only requirement is in what product they are needed for.
Brendan is multiple, but
Yeah.
Brendan says what should be nationalized, any industry where the outcomes are limited. Right now, there's only two industries that are coming back, and that's healthcare and energy.
I agree. Thank you for saying that, Radin. I think you noticed that I mentioned that yesterday as well. I said that energy should be nationalized, healthcare should be nationalized, and when it comes to social services, childcare should be in that domain. And when it comes to food, we should have a basal food unit. In Panama, we have something called La Bolsa Minima, or something like that. What it stands for is the minimum amount of food that every family is supposed to have, right? So what happens in times of crisis or whatever, the government supplies that minimum sustenance, right? In other words, it's not food that it's not caviar or steaks or anything like that. It's a basic food source to keep you alive.
Speaking of which, Paul Fleming says when the pandemic hit, I started a garden. I'm fortunate to have a pond out back with fish. I have the necessities to hopefully survive until life gets back to normal.
Paul, that is a great thing, right? And this is where interesting part, if we had a society where more integral is, right? Because you have sustenance for your family right now. If we were to hit famine, or we were to hit where societal strife is in vogue, at that point in time, it's laissez-faire. And what it means is that unless you can also defend your property, which you probably could not in the aggregate, the animal in people will come out. That is why I believe in creating social institutions now, right? In other words, we have to create that loving of people. We have to ensure that people I'm in the wrong lane. We have to ensure that people are set into a model that we take care of each other, and not I take care of myself insularly, because taking of yourself insularly and not worrying about teaching others how to fish, teaching others how to sustain, means that in that time of crisis, you are also in danger. Even if you can sustain yourself, somebody is coming to take it away. The animal in humanity manifests itself then. So my thing is, we have to, as a human species who's been socialized, we have to now, while things are not dire, we have to start becoming more communal. In other words, care about your neighbor, care about those around you. We have to teach that. What the Powell Manifesto taught was individualism. Individualism works if the least of us can take care of ourselves, but individualism fails if the animal in us gets a chance to emerge. And that's why teaching communal living now. In other words, you're at your home. If you find out that John Peter is sick, that you can take care of him, you can take him a loaf of bread or something like that. If we start reinstill that's how it used to be. In Panama too, that's how it used to be. Your door was open. Christmas time, you walk into everybody's house and you're eating among each other. When you go to somebody's house, there's a plate of food for you. Nobody cooks the exact amount. In fact, it was hard for my wife to understand the Panamanian culture when we just got married, because when we had functions and she prepared, she's like, how many guests are coming? there are five of us, and she prepares. She knows how to cook Panamanian. She prepares Panamanian rice, and I'm like, "Hey, babe, that's not enough." And she'd be like, "But it's only X people." I said, "That's not enough." And then the Panamanians come over and wipe us out because, again, the culture is abundance because you don't know if five people say they're coming, expect 10. You know, it's a communal in nature, and I'm just talking about how we work and deal with people, right? And we have to train our brains into that function now before you know what cometh, before the decline, which it could be in my lifetime, it could be in your lifetime. And when that happens, it's going to be ugly. Let's give an example. Suppose Yellowstone blows. America would become a third world country in one day.
Eric Hayes says Panama culture sounds like a buffet.
Eric, I love that one. Actually, you know what? If you take a look at some of the pictures on my Facebook, you'll see some of our Christmas dinners. That's exactly what it is, a huge buffet. And if you take a look at what Lou did for us on for Christmas, that's what you saw, a huge buffet. And we had about 4 or 5 times the amount of food we had that we needed. And that was everybody. By the end of the day, everybody took home that food, and we had food for a few days after Christmas. It's just the culture, right? It's a culture of giving, the culture of community. And I think the individualism of America ultimately hurts us in the long run, because when things are in dire straits, we will have an issue. We will have a problem. Any other comments, beautiful?
Quite a few. It's hard to read, like the way I'm trying to get it.
Yeah. Ashley's still trying to get some of the comments, my beautiful listeners. But I want to thank Ashley for doing this for me, because, I couldn't do this alone and see comments. I need to see if there's an application that I can use.
So when Eric gets that, we're Golden Corral of all.
I tell you what, I love the Golden Corral, Eric. I don't know about you. My wife doesn't like it, but I love the Golden Corral, especially for breakfast or brunch, I think is what you call it. Hey, man, I tell you that is, in fact, when I get down to 198, I'm going to beg my wife to take me to Golden Corral. That's a good point, Eric. Any other message, beautiful? My daughter said, I'm trying to read. She have half her vision plus the sun.
Yeah, it's also nauseous.
Oh, she's nauseous from my driving.
Driving and reading.
Oh, driving and reading. Okay. Yes, guys. But anyhow, but look, I wanted to have the program, even though I was at the place. I don't like to not have a politics done right, because I feel that I make a promise at 3:00 Central Time. That's my responsibility to be here at 3:00, no matter what. If I am moving, I can do it. Sometime I'm going to see if I get 2 of our folks here to set up. I don't know how soon I can get that done, because I have a lot of work to do. But I want to set it up so that we can have guest hosts sometimes to host it. Who knows? Maybe one of these days, Eric can host it for me. But I know I want my beautiful Bridge MCP to really do some hosting for me, because she's so smart and so always on point. Right, Bridge? Or is Bridge in the house?
She is. She's definitely in there. And also, saying that when the pandemic hit, they volunteered. They helped out their neighbors. His wife is an extreme couponer. They definitely helped out and gave away household products.
Right.
And they helped out. It's just like the glare is super difficult.
Okay, well, now we're going to be in the... We had a little glitch, but we are back. Anyway, we're parked in the garage right now, and I'm going to finish the show right here. I'm not going to go to the full hour because I need to get out of the car.
So Breeze is on YouTube. I'm on YouTube now. Breeze said, could Breeze host it? She's like, me?
Of course Breeze can host it. Breeze is great. And Breeze, we did interviews. You're darn good at this. What else have we got?
I'm trying.
She's trying to get all the messages.
Maywood, Daniel. Liddell wouldn't know what a Marxist policy is. It him with the manifesto.
Daniel, I love you, man. You stay on the same thing over and over again.
Michael Rudman said that.
Oh, what Michael said?
what he said. Michael Brennan said Maywood, Daniel Ledo wouldn't know a Marxist policy if it's locked up in the face.
That's true. You know, they like to say, Brother Ledo likes to talk about Marxist, you're a Marxist, and this and that and all of that. But let me tell you something, Ledo. I don't care what you want to call me, right? I am just to make sure, I just want people to be able to do what they need to do to survive. And I want people to live an equitable life. All right, Ledo? So, I mean, you can hate me and you can call me a Marxist. You can call me all these names if you want to. But let me tell you what's important to me. What's important to me is that everybody has equal access to success. What is important to me is that everybody has a good life. What is important to me is to make sure that we have a real society that supports us all. Individualism is only good till it's no good. I want you guys to remember that. Individualism is only good till it's no good. While communal living, and when I say communal living, I mean just caring about your neighbor, your family, your friends.
So,
yes.
Tom C. a while ago said, Daniel Ledo said, the worth of a person, my only criteria is breathing. And does that mean you agree that a fetus is not a person? Please clarify. And Breach MCB says, good one, Tom.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Tom, you know what is what I love about you? You can actually go directly to the core so often, immediately. You can actually hit the core right away, Tom C. And by the way, folks, don't forget that we are having Ask Egberto Anything this Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Ask Egberto Anything at 11 Central, and just go to politicsdoneright.com/askegberto. ASKEGBERTO. Ask, yes.
I think Eric Hayes says Egberto, but you have to think individual things to get national security correct, right? And then it says, Breach is Ashley, please read on subject. Oh, I guess that was to me.
Yeah, she was probably writing something to you. Breach MCP.
Please, I guess I can try to stay on subject, but it's all over the place.
Yeah, what happens is she says it's all over. The way it's coming on the phone, it's not easy. It's easy.
It's not intuitive.
Yeah, how to read.
Sorry, guys. It's not intuitive at all. I'm trying to go on like this little screen here. The car was moving. I apologize.
But let me also tell you, she only has half her vision. She's getting better. Every now and then she gets flashes in the in her blind spot, which is the half blind spot. Every now and then she gets flashes there. But altogether, folks,
Maywood says, what time would that be? Pacific time, 11?
Pacific time, no. If it's 11 Central Pacific time, it is 9 Pacific. It's 9 Pacific. So yeah, Maywood. But sign up. Go to politicsdoneright.com/askegberto.
Daniel Ledo says, Marxist is my catch-all phrase for the amalgamation of various leftist ideology.
Okay.
All of them deeply rooted in Marxism. I kind of believe Egberto is just ignorant of the root.
Actually, I'm not ignorant of it at all, Ledo. I mean, if you want to associate my policies with things that Marx...
Oh, okay. So, sorry. Keep going. But Breach is a second ago. She said Breach has 2 acres now, and she's trying to do a community garden. If the neighbors don't complain, otherwise, I have all that land for waste.
Well, actually, I bet the neighbors aren't going to complain. Neighbors... Actually, British, from what you tell me about the folks up there in northern New York, in as much as they're Republicans, what they are they love doing that kind of stuff, and they're helpful. You and I spoke about that offline before, how nice these people are, and that's why I tell you I love everybody. It's when we allow the politicians to to make our ideological differences profound that we get problems. Did you have something else to say, Boo?
Paul Fleming says a fetus can't breathe without the mother, therefore it's not fully human.
Thank you. Exactly. And then?
You can take off your seatbelt.
Yeah, my seatbelt.
That so far, I'm trying to refresh it.
Yeah, she has to refresh each time to get the messages, folks. But look, I am going to go for another 4 minutes. So if you guys have anything else to say, put it on Facebook.
Carl Cox says, like, birthday for president, Ashley provides.
I can't be president. In fact, to get my Social Security, I have to show folks my naturalization papers. So I can't be president because I'm not a natural born citizen, but I am a United States citizen, a proud United States citizen, somebody that will fight for this country, somebody that would fight to make this a better place. Because I tell you what, wherever you lay your head, you defend, right? Wherever you lay your head. Not only that, having born my kid here in the States and met my wife in the States, I'm a full-blooded American like anybody else, no less, no more. Of course, I also have Panamanian citizenship, so I'm also a Panamanian, no more, no less. And I think that's an asset to be a person of the world.
Is the ask this Saturday on my birthday, my 65th birthday.
Oh, I love you, girl. You know if you come on your birthday, meaning that you can spare an hour on your birthday, I'm gonna sing happy birthday with my guitar for you.
And then Carl Cox comments, Carl Cox for president.
Carl Cox for president.
And then Eric Hayes says, you take up arms. Paul Fleming says, you can be mayor, governor, senator, and speaker of the House.
Yes, but I can't be president. But you know what? Also, I want young people like my daughter and others, like you, Paul, to take care of, to be the ones who run this country, man. I want to be just the one trying to get people to do the right thing, vote for good people like you all that are here. But look, I'm going to shut this down early because I need to get inside now, and it's going to clip the... Yeah.
Bree says, oh, really? You got a banjo?
I have a guitar. I'm going to play a guitar for you. I'm going to sing your birthday with my guitar. And I'm going to show you that my voice ain't too bad, girl. You know?
And Eric Hayes says, young people don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Steves says, watching the voting for Speaker of the House, what an antiquated process.
Yes.
Voting takes forever, just like in 1776 with wigs and quills. Why not use PCs or cell phones to count votes instead? Daniel Ladeau says, Raffle LMAO, I am a full-blooded American, but also Panamanian. So what are your loyalties?
My loyalty is to Panama and the United States of America.
Would you take up arms against Panama?
No, I would not take up arms against Panama, and I won't take up arms against the United States.
Then John Cutter says, I look forward to the guitar and singing. Michael Rudnan says, I'll catch you tomorrow then. Hopefully I'll have some good news. Someone from Twitch, Ivan Young Q says, hello. Breach says, makes me want to go. Thank you so much. Ashley Egberto, you rock.
All right.
Via Twitch, E2247.
Love E2247.
2023 U.S. will likely see record levels of immigration from Latin America because of the sustained cost of living.
Exactly.
And economic crisis in many Latin American countries.
True.
And the raising risk of G something.
Right. Well, folks, I'm gonna close this down now. Michael, run and take care of yourself. I hope the hematoma on your legs it's going down. Let us know what the report is. In fact, when you go to the doctor, just drop me a direct message, dude. I want to know that you're okay. Anyhow, look, guys, thank you for chiming into this impromptu politics done right. Again, like I said, I had to take care of some business with my daughter. We got it taken care of. Very, very well done from our Social Security office. I want us to have more faith in we the people. Having more faith in we the people would make us demand that we the people, our government, does the right thing.
Sorry.
Yes.
TC Sports, that probably guys says, raising risk of GOP demanding funding for border wall and increased patrols and threatening to torpedo budget legislation funding the government.
Yeah, that is true. But let me tell you something. The good thing is that we still have a Democratic president and we still have a Democratic Senate. So none of that will go through.
Tom C says, I like this program out of your car. Great show.
Thank you so kindly, guys. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. And here with my beautiful daughter, Ashley. And guess what? I am what? Out.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.